Singapore 7144, surface wind is 140 degrees, 7 knots, maximum 18. Runway 20 center, cleared to land.
Good morning, Singapore Tower, Singapore 7144, cleared to land, runway 20 center. Really glad to be home. In the past, when I used to carry items like pharmaceuticals, fruits, meat, vegetables, eggs, I didn't think much of them. But nowadays, when I carry these items, I always ask myself, where are they going? Are they going to our supermarkets, our hospitals, our restaurants, or the cafes? And that makes it much more fulfilling, and that's really meaningful to me.
When COVID-19 hit Singapore, it really showed how connected everything was, how dependent we are on the global supply chain and how aviation connects everyone and everything. You start to see the trickle-down effect a little bit later as the weeks or days went by. You start to realize the usual comfort foods that you used to like, the brands, they're all missing. We're not bringing in all the comforts of life that we're used to.
I remember there was quite a bit of panic and uncertainty. One thing that I'll never be able to forget was how there was a rush to stock up on groceries and daily essentials, such as rice and toilet paper. These are things that Singapore alone cannot produce enough for its own consumption, and things like perishables and pharmaceuticals have very short shelf lives, so they have to be airflown into Singapore. It was also crucial at the time that we bring in enough medical supplies to be able to support our healthcare industry. To that end, I've also noticed that we are also moving medical supplies and test kits for other countries. It's really important that we keep the skies open, keep the flights operating, so as to be able to transport this essential cargo around the world.
It so humbles you, doesn't it? You don't realize how the whole world can just shut down and countries close their borders. Now you realize you're in the thick of things, swimming against strong undercurrents with great difficulty. And then you find a way to recover and forge forward. Recently I flew a charter flight from Guangzhou to Singapore carrying 100 tons of medical grade face shield, face mask and other essential medical supplies. And this was during the height of COVID-19 in Singapore. And Singapore was in need of an abundance of such items. Once the adrenaline rush of the flying was over, you sit down and then it dawns on you, oh, I'm actually doing something for my country and our people. That gives me a great sense of satisfaction, and I'm really proud to be part of the essential service team for the country.
The crisis has hit airlines badly and is expected to persist for some time. So we really had to think out of the box here and to adapt. One way of doing that was to convert quite a number of aircraft to be able to carry cargo in the passenger cabin. So where passengers usually sit and where they usually store their luggages in the overhead bins are now spaces that is occupied by cargo. I've spoken to colleagues who have been working in the aviation industry for decades, and this is a first even for them. The reason we do this is to better manage the cargo bottleneck, because we understand that cargo is still very important to everyday life.
Instead of giving 100% tender loving care to our aircrafts, we now need to give 200%. The focus is more pronounced to make sure that the aircraft is flying, as it is critical that we transport the supplies in and out of Singapore. I've been working here for 14 years, but I've never seen the aircraft grounded like this before. Every time the aircraft is serviceable to fly, there is a whole lot of satisfaction. Then we move on to the next one.
Besides COVID-19, flying a large commercial airliner in itself is a very challenging job. It requires a lot of effort, knowledge, skill, and at the end of the day, it's about completing the mission.
Satisfaction is always there, especially so during this period when things are tough and you see the livery of the blue and the gold flying high. It's akin to the national flag, and it's a pride to every Singaporean. Being a Singaporean myself, It's an honor to fly for the national carrier.